Well, it looks like we zapped these Mexican Tithonias finally, these perennial ones. So what was the weather? What did it actually hit? It's 29 degrees. You can kind of tell these guys are all curled up. They're already darkening, or curled down, drooping. So last minute last night, before bed, we asked, Amazon Alexa what the weather was, and they went up to 30 degrees and it stopped issuing that hard freeze warning. This is why you should never believe these reports, because guess what? We woke up to 29 degrees, still in a hard freeze warning. Check this out. We have ice. That's probably like a 5-inch tub of water there, concrete mixing thing that I use to water plants and all with. And there's ice on top. It looks like that even froze our comfrey. Will those leaves come back, or will it come back from the roots? Because this is a cold weather plant. Look at those sad elephant ears. Even that elderberry is drooping and just looking sad. We did cover a few things. Avocado, and I just had an extra blanket I threw over that papaya. I put a sheet over the Sugarville there. And it looks like our loquat is still looking good. And we uncovered the avocado. Hopefully it's going to be okay. We uncovered the papaya. Severe stress, obviously. And that little one down there. And the Sugarville. Don't want it to roast once the sun comes out. There's a little bit of ice on that old aquarium there that's got rain on it. Look at there, it's about melted though. And I just pulled the Mineola Tangelo out of the building. Again, we don't want it to roast once it gets hot. And it's not going to get hot, but when the sun hits something, a building can turn into like an oven and just roast everything. So here is a good experiment if you don't want to put some kind of weather station all over your property, to try to find a microclimate. So about 10 buckets of water. We had just some of it, most of it's rainwater. Only 4 of them had ice in them this morning, and they were just spread out all over the place. Get you a little pan, something cheap, plastic or whatever. It doesn't have to be deep. 2 or 3 inches, 5 inches, whatever. Place these cheap pans, right before freeze comes, wherever you want to see if it's a substantial microclimate. Where those freeze, unless it's a super hard freeze where everything freezes, you can kind of look, 28 degrees is a decent temperature to check, if you get a 6 or 8 hour freeze or less. Now if it's 2 or 3 days, everything might freeze. But where it doesn't form ice, that's obviously not quite as cold there. So perfect way to cheaply do it. Then you can always set up a weather station or put some thermometers or something in that specific area. There have been certain plants that I've planted 2 or 3 or 4 times that have died, and then the last plant survives, the freezes. So little microclimates or whatever. So that is kind of a simple and cheap method to see if you have a microclimate somewhere. And you could have plants that kind of border on that temperature, where you're located, USDA zone. And it could swing a little bit, south, a little bit hotter. But if you find that microclimate, you might be successful in keeping that plant alive without protection, or at least protect it a few years until it gets big and then not protect it at all later. So because we didn't get to 28 degrees, hopefully everything, the fruits, citrus and all, are okay. Why am I saying that? Because somebody was supposed to get most, if not all, of the fruits. But guess what? They decided just to get the grapefruits, and they left like all the Sambokins, whatever's left of the Meyer lemons. See, here's the Sambokins and stuff. Whatever's left of the red navels, blood oranges, probably still quite a few of the grapefruits. Definitely a lot of the red grapefruits, probably a lot of the white grapefruits, probably all the citramellas. So they only got a few bags. So maybe we're going to take these Sambokins and stuff to somebody or somewhere we can distribute them somewhere. Yeah, that kind of surprised me that they didn't take everything. You can see up high that there are still a lot of the white grapefruits left. So maybe we can take these to somebody. But again, I shot a video yesterday about what's wrong with my marsh white grapefruits. I'm constantly having to clear my throat. Ever since COVID, I've just had all these respiratory issues. And it's just like a watered down grapefruit. So it may not even be worth taking these guys and give them away. Might just need to be pulled off and composted. There could still be 50 or 70 or so on here. And there's some even low that they didn't get. I'm sure in the coming days and weeks we'll see how everything managed the frost, freeze. Suriname cherries, did all the seedlings and all survive? Avocado that we have in the ground. All the little Cattleya, red Cattleya, lemon guavas, the yellow, whatever, Echo Garden guava or whatever it is. Cherry Rio Grande. Whatever longevity spinach and all we had in the ground. Papayas, all that good stuff. But kids are home, so we're not going to do anything substantial today. Take care.